Hi, I'm Mark,
And I'm Jerry.
and we are the Military Collectibles Shop.
It's on our shirts.
Oh yeah.
Just in case we forget where we are. So, welcome to another edition of What's New at the Military Collectibles Shop. As usual, a lot of stuff's been happening, a lot of stuff coming and going. So we put together a small smattering of some of the stuff that we got in just to share it with you. So, I don't know, pick something.
Okay. We got this nice raid Japanese flag.
Kind of interesting, kind of made out of a thicker silk, kind of a crepey silk. We got in with that a signed Hiromanu prayer flag, good luck flag. A lot of these were given to soldiers as they went off to war, usually signed by their friends or their co-workers, with well-wishings. Sometimes you'll find these from particular units, where all the guys in the unit signed it, but most of these were signed by the person's friends as they went on, and then they carried these with them.
We got this K98 pouch. The interesting thing is that inside of here there's 6 German boxes of matches. They're kind of stuck in there, so I'm not going to pull them out, but
Smoke them if you got them.
yeah.
With that, we got in a nice German M35 helmet, but it's actually a Navy helmet. The Navy helmets have a golder looking decal, and oftentimes we're asked, how do you tell the difference between a toned Army, an Army decal where it's turned to gold versus an actual Navy decal? And if you look closely on the Navy decals, you can actually see there's a little bit of an offset from where the gold layer was actually put on. So that there's almost like a little shadow, like almost a drop shadow of the gold layer. And that's one of the ways you can also tell the Navy decals. The Navy decals also tend to fleck off a little bit because a lot of times they were put on reworked helmets. This is an M35 that probably originally started out life as a double decal Army or something, and then it was refurbished, given a rough coat of combat paint, and then re-decaled. So the decal goes over that combat paint. There's kind of a strange old collectorism that, well, the way you tell a real decal is you take your thumbnail and you try to dig it off. It's like, oh my God, no, don't do that. Well, in a lot of the German original helmets, they're factory kind of stuck on. They're really adhered well, and that is true. But on some of them, especially when they're reapplied over a combat finish, it's gonna fleck off. So don't ever take your thumb, especially at a show. I've seen people actually do it, and it's horrific. So don't do it. But a nice helmet, Navy, a little harder to find.
We picked up an early Purple Heart, and it's named to a World War I vet, and it's got the wraparound brooch, and it's serial numbered, but it also has his name on the back. It's real nice.
And we were able to do the research. Well, we didn't do the research. We have a guy. We got a guy. He was able to do the research for us, and we found him, and he was actually wounded in one of the significant battles. The guy was from Milwaukee. He served with the 29th Division in World War I, so that's kind of cool. One piece I picked up for my own collection is a Africa Corps cuff title, still on the piece of cuff. So 1/20th of a uniform, maybe? But I do like the cutoffs, and Africa stuff is hard to find in cutoff form. A lot of these guys ended up being POWs, so it is one of the things that you do see more cutoffs from, because a lot of the guys kept their uniforms, and so they denazified them by taking off the insignia. So you do find a lot of cut insignia from the POWs, but it is unusual to find something like this where it's actually still on a hunk of the uniform.
We got a silver ring, German World War II ring. Interesting, cool looking.
Got in a nice American M4 fighting knife bayonet for the carbine. Just a real clean example by Imperial. Nice, clean scabbard. Just a real clean example.
We got 5 German marked spoons. Kind of looks like a Kriegsmarine Eagle without the M, but
Yeah, could be Army. I don't know. Speaking of Navy, we got an American Navy medal grouping with the Good Conduct, the American Service Theater, the Pacific Theater, the World War II Victory, and the American Defense. So he would have served probably into the 1950s. Unfortunately, no attribution with this, but a nice parade-mounted bar.
we got a bronze SA sports badge. Decent.
This is one of the things we got in. A lot of times these are referred to as the Nazi poker chips. And while it is a poker chip, and it does have a swastika on it, these have nothing to do at all with the Nazis. The swastika was widely used as a good luck symbol, very similar to a 4-leaf clover or a rabbit's foot, for a long time before the Nazis got a hold of it. It was also the Native American symbol of the Thunderbird, which is why the 45th Division U.S. Army actually used it as a patch for a while, again until the Nazis got hold of it and kind of tarnished its reputation. So the American patch was redesigned with the kind of more traditional Thunderbird eagle on it. But it's not like the Nazis had a lot of time playing poker. But a lot of times you'll see these in antique stores and flea markets, and it's an interesting curiosity. But we see these in a lot of older collections. They're not Nazi poker chips. They're just poker chips with a swastika on them. Nazis tended to play sheep's head or scat.
Well, we've got a couple of German helmet shells, these original shells, but they somebody repainted them. And so it's like
I know nothing.
So it's like a project for somebody.
Yeah, reenactors love these shells. I mean, we'll buy them because, again, reenactors can strip them down, paint them up, camouflage them, paint little smiley faces on them, whatever. We don't care. But good, nice metal ones to have. Got an American M1 swivel bail helmet. This is actually a rear seam swivel bail, so came out very late in the war. The interesting thing, it does have early war hardware on it, and it did come with a later liner, which is not really unusual, because again, we didn't just throw all the helmets out after World War II. A lot of ended up being continued in use. I found actual woodland pattern covers on World War II helmets that were used into the 1980s.
We got a pith helmet, German World War II pith helmet that needs some tender loving care.
When you see it next time, it'll look a lot better. We don't do a lot of restoration work here, but when something comes in with a lot of chicken poop on it or something, we'll make it a little better.
We have got a German flight helmet. I don't know that there's no headphones, so maybe this guy just doesn't hear anything.
But it's kind of loud on the plane, with that, we got a couple sets of goggles. So honestly, I'm not exactly sure the designation of these with the sun shield. But goggles are always great. They make a great display on a flight helmet. So those are good to get.
Did you do the knife?
Yeah.
Okay. We got a nice horsehair backpack. The straps are complete. It's a nice example.
Do you know why horses can never get anything passed through Congress?
Why?
Because they always vote nay.
Hey. Well, we have a German helmet here that it's rusty and it only has about
1%.
Yeah, 5% of the paint left on it, but still original helmet.
This was interesting. This is something we hadn't seen before. It's actually a German axe or hatchet. I'm trying to hatchet. Axes have both sides, right?
Yeah.
Hatchets have one side, axes have both sides. But it's a 1938, and it's Waffen-amt. It's got the little eagle proof for being military accepted. You know, I'm sure the handle was replaced at some point, but it's the first axe head I've seen. So that's really kind of cool. Looks like it had a nail puller at some time or something. I don't know, but it's cool. Who's up for some axe throwing?
And we got a Hitler Youth bread bag. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, always nice to find. Collectors like them. They look good on a little Hitler Youth display. Oh, it's got the unit marking. That's kind of nice. Yeah. Well, that was, I guess that was the pile for this week. So, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate having you here. We appreciate all the comments we get. It's great when we see you guys at shows and stuff. You know, talking to you, so it's always fun to hear from you. If you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to email us. A lot of people email us, hey, what do you think about this? Send us the links from the websites, you know, you're looking at, and stuff you're looking at. If you want to get our opinions, talk is cheap. You know, we're always happy to help other collectors. Yeah, stop by our website, militarycollectorshq.com. You'd think I'd know that by now. And you can also find, if you can't remember that, you can go to militarycollectiblesshop.com. Visit us there. Visit our Facebook page. You know, like us to get updates, and sign up and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can continue to get updates such as these, as they are.
All right, I guess that's it for today. We have customers lining up outside, and
yeah.
oh, they're standing there in the snow.
It's starting to snow again. Oh well, winter in Wisconsin. It never ends until August. All right, well, thank you, everybody. Until we see you next time, I'm Jerry.
And I'm Mark.
And we are the Military Collectibles Shop.
Oh, and I forgot to mention that we got this sword that we are able to date to 1365. We're doing a little more research on it. Got some information on the maker, so we'll see. It's still pretty nice.